Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Subramaniam Masalamani. I'm a Tamil, and my mission is to bring about justice in Sri Lanka. Today, my subject is going to be what it will take to bring about justice in Sri Lanka. Will it be economic sanctions against Sri Lanka, or will it take a Tamil president to bring about justice in Sri Lanka? After 60 years of experiencing violence against my people, I decided that I should do my duty to bring about awareness among the people of the world. Tamils are a numerical minority in Sri Lanka, only about 12% of the population. Then why should there be violence and atrocities against them? Why should the Sinhalese politicians and the religious establishment force the Sinhalese to terrorize the Tamils? Can the world come to grip with what I am saying? How can a minority of people be a threat to a majority of people? The government is Sinhalese, the people are Sinhalese, the economy and natural resources are in the Sinhalese areas. Then why there is violence against the Tamils? When asked the Sinhalese, why do you fear and hate Tamils? There's no answer. The reason is to drive all Tamils out of Sri Lanka and make it a secular Buddhist state. The religious establishment is the cause of this diaspora, destitution, and death of the Tamils. The Mahavamsa, an agenda similar to Hitler's Mein Kampf, is the fundamental cause of this calculated Holocaust. Mahasangha, an organization with Mahanayakas as the head, was set up to implement the agenda of the Mahavamsa. The governments are chosen by the Mahavamsa and the Mahanayakas and are voted in by the people. I hope you understand that. It is suspected that by the year 2020, the non-Sinhalese people will have no representation in the parliament. Colonization of the Tamil areas are undertaken in a massive scale to increase the Sinhalese population to more than 50%. In the last 60 years, this has been the major theme of the Sri Lankan ideology. Sri Lanka is not ready for modern politics. On the other side, the world nations are not willing to support the Tamils for an armed resistance. Therefore, the only avenue open to us is in the socio-political and socio-economic areas, unless we pursue an agenda similar to that of Israel. South Africa was able to liberate itself through economic sanctions. There are at least 3 ways Tamils can impose economic sanctions. Number 1, as Tamils, we must boycott Sri Lankan foods and goods. As I walk through the Tamil-owned retail outlets, I see Sri Lankan products made with Tamil blood. We are not asking you to starve, but to change your taste buds. My dear friend, everything has a price, and freedom is the most expensive. Are you ready to pay the price? We request our Tamils who love our motherland, please do a small favor. Do not import goods from Sri Lanka. Do not send money more than what is required. Boycott Sri Lankan products. Do not export to Sri Lanka. Do not travel to Sri Lanka unless it is urgent and unavoidable. Produce Sri Lankan goods locally. Educate your co-worker, friends and neighbors about the atrocities in Sri Lanka. Report all defective food products to the Food Inspection Agency. Do not purchase any of the financial instruments like Sri Lankan government bonds or shares in Sri Lankan corporations. If the Europeans and the United States are willing to impose sanctions, why not Tamils? We had to do our part. My friend, lately, what have you done to your community? Number 2, creating awareness among the world population. Keep the other nations involved in your direct action. Write to the foreign governments, their UN missions in New York and Geneva. Every Tamil must become a campaigner, ambassador, and representative of the Tamil cause. Request representation in the United Nations. Send out faxes, letters, emails to multinational corporations to stop doing business with Sri Lanka. Prepare handouts and distribute them at retail stores like Marks and Spencer, Walmart, Sears, liquor stores, ethnic retail stores, etc. Do not hire Sri Lankan Sinhalese in Tamil businesses and corporations. You may be hiring a Sri Lankan spy or an informant or an agent. Beware whom you hire. If we have to stop our direct action to impose economic sanctions, Sri Lankan Sinhalese must guarantee the following: no colonization of traditional homelands. High security zones must be reduced and military confined to barracks. Administration handed over to civilian authority. Judiciary must be free of government and paramilitary interventions. All war heroes must be preserved. The landmarks of all war heroes must be preserved. Tamil must be allowed to raise funds for investment and development anywhere in the nation. No standardization to the universities. All state appointments to be on merit, not on race or religion. All murders and other atrocities must be investigated. All IDP camps must be removed and people go wherever they want to go. Introduce educational programs not to divide the people but to understand and unite them. State and religion must be separated. Religion has its place but not in the government. Stop building military bases, military cities in the Tamil areas. A simple advice to our Sinhalese friends: do not foster and fuel racism, fanaticism, state terrorism, and discrimination based on external features such as race, religion, appearance, language, caste, sex, and age. But you look deep inside for internal diversity of intellect, such as sensuality, empathy, wealth, knowledge, creativity, morality, trust, understanding, compassion, etc. That is the difference between modern democracies and some third world nations. The Sinhalese people must compare their socio-economic standard with the rest of the world. They lost 60 years of good living misguided by their Sinhalese politicians. Your politicians and religious establishments have forced you to terrorize the Tamils. Isn't it time for a Tamil president in Sri Lanka? Why not? Think about it. Thank you. I am Subramaniam Masalamani, a world-class Tamil powered by conscience, convictions, and commitments.